Alright, let's go into it. This is going to be a pretty exciting match between XKCD and Qikz on the map is going to be Mist. And I'm excited about it because Qikz is a pretty good player, and XKCD is pretty good too, I think, depending on how much he's been practicing. Definitely always a factor. And these players both on non-stop on the same clan, so it's a bit of a team kill for them. But, you know, that's just the way it's going to happen. So here at the 3 o'clock is going to be XKCD. He's our brown Zerg. That's not a brown color. I think they're talking about MCA launcher. Yeah, it is a bit of a pain to update sometimes. I really thought that disabling the antivirus during installation would work, but I guess you gotta disable your antivirus during the download as well. Otherwise, it'll stop that too. Have that problem. Okay, so DeSPA up 2-0 over Air Force Con, and the map is Mist. Now, Mist, I don't think I've talked about this too much before. I don't know if you've played it before. But this middle area, you know what we did, and I just didn't talk about. This middle area, this bridge, is actually a line of sight blocker. It's like tall grass in StarCraft 2 and whatnot, and you actually can't see through it. Ground units can't. So you're going to need an air unit to be able to see through it. And it makes pushing through the middle potentially very dangerous, especially with things like siege tanks on the other side, lurkers on the other side. So typically you don't see players pushing through the middle too much, and it actually looks like XKCD getting very, very lucky, getting his 12 hatch down, and that's going to be fantastic for him. He's going to be very happy about that because he went for a big risk not going for that pool before hatchery. Qikz just a little bit too late to block it, and getting his pool up now. Have to see whether or not he goes 3 hatch or XKCD inquiring as to whether or not Qikz still goes mech. Qikz, of course, pretty well known for going often going very mech heavy style, and he likes to get early vultures and get drops, and of course his favorite player being fantasy. Unfortunately, his marine pops out on the other side of the barracks. Really? I really thought he'd pop out on the left side here, as typically they do spawn. Maybe he let it out initially and I just missed that. SCV actually doing a ton of damage to the spawning pool, and getting a good idea of what XKCD is doing. He is going for a 3 hatch, and this is going to be good for him because Qikz is actually going for some sort of mech play. He's got his factory, and potentially he could get a starport as well, although it looks like he only has 1 guy in gas, so I think it might just be some sort of vulture expand. And this could work out pretty well for him if XKCD does not get vultures, or excuse me, sunken colonies up in time and get a decent SimCity. Looks like he's getting his gas now. Qikz looks like he might be trying to hightail it out with his SCV, blocking the sunken colony actually, which XKCD is just going to go ahead and get. And that's pretty smart by him. Now, did his Overlord come in? No, it looks like he's got one up here and the other one's just hanging out over here. Bit of a precarious position for it. He definitely wants to move it over here or here as soon as he can. Otherwise, he risks losing it to early Marines, which can definitely happen when you're going for a factory expand. Get a good vulture contain up outside your opponent's base, and then your Marines are free to roam the map and pick off any errant overlords that you can manage to snap up. Looks like actually a starport now coming up, and Qikz still with 1 guy in gas, so it might just be some vanilla vulture drops. Don't know, we'll have to see. Definitely don't think he's going to be able to afford, unless he puts guys in gas very soon, dropship and, like, you know, vulture mines or speed or whatever. Looks like he's going up to 2 vultures. Might try and get a 3rd before he actually moves out. And this can be good because he's risking this opportunity. He did see that his opponent was trying to put down a sunken colony very early. So, but he is risking the opportunity that XKCD hadn't morphed it yet, and he could get in really easily and do a good amount of damage. But at the same time, he's keeping his opponent in the dark just a little bit longer. And so it could be even more unexpected when he finally does manage to hit with the... Oh, interesting. So, with the vultures, that is. XKCD, he's actually not getting his lair, and he's gone into Hydros. I swear he started it. He may have canceled it once he forced Qikz SCV out of his base. And now he's going into Hydros. And this is very predicting of his opponent, and I think it's going to work out fairly well. Looks like Qikz is actually getting a Wraith. Very interesting. This is just weird. I'm not quite sure here what the game plan is. Feels like it'd be very vulnerable to any sort of early aggression. For example, a 3-hatch Hydra play, which is what we're seeing XKCD do. So it could turn out very poorly for Qikz. He's getting this armory. I think this is mostly to get Valkyries. Of course, he also can get Goliaths as well. Now Qikz, he's got this one Wraith out, but I don't think it's going to get even a single kill before the Hydralisks are out. Hydralisks are out. He doesn't want to lose this Wraith. Getting it. Oh, very nice micro. Coming in back in to finish off that Overlord. And as long as he doesn't lose the Wraith, very nice. And looks like XKCD, he's coming in to put some pressure down on the front. There's a tank on this high ground. And XKCD going to have to be forced to pull back here if he doesn't want to lose all these Hydralisks. Qikz also being very diligent about pulling SCVs and repairing. But now a ton of Hydros actually coming in, and the mine research that he has done is not going to help too much because he's not going to be able to place any mines forward of his wall, and he's actually running the danger of losing this siege tank. But he does manage to hold on to it. Now again, he can't place these mines forward, so if this wall goes down, he can still have these mines in the back to help. But he's got to be very careful. Looks like XKCD sacrificing a single Hydros to take down that mine, which is not cost efficient, but could work out very well for him. And siege mode, how close is it? It's about to finish, so I think Qikz is going to be able to hold this and going to come out somewhat okay, but he really didn't do the economic harassment that he wanted to do to his opponent, as XKCD has been very fine to just drone up and get his macro how he wants it, get the number of bases he wants. Looks like he just walked a drone back. Is going to take this mineral only base, I think, which, oh no, actually he's turning around. I think that was just a pathing bug sort of thing going on, and I don't know what happened, but I think he might have pulled a bunch of his SCVs back to his main. I was going to say he might have lost them. That would have been tragic, but I don't think that's the case. Qikz rebuilding his wall. This is pretty smart. He doesn't want to get busted by any Hydralisks. And that Wraith now up to 2 kills. So sort of paying for itself, but not quite yet. And meantime, XKCD, he's taking this opportunity to get some more drones. He really wanted that win early, I think, and it didn't quite work out for him. He wasn't able to push in with the Hydralisks like he wanted to. But it was a very good idea because Qikz, his defenses were very late, very fragile. But with that wall at his front, very smart at repairing it, able to hold off all the aggression. And it looks like XKCD does in fact take this mineral only base behind his gas base. And I don't really like this. He's got a decent contain on his opponent, although it looks like he is sacrificing some Hydros on accident there. And yeah, I really don't feel like there's any reason for him to not take this base. You do want to be concerned about things like vulture run-bys and whatnot, but with some good SimCity and a sunken colony should be fairly good. But yeah, that's not what he's doing, so can't judge him too hard. Looks like Qikz is actually backtracking into Bio. Does he have upgrades for it? I'm not quite sure. This is very interesting. I'm not sure when this timing is really going to hit and what XKCD is going to have to defend this with. He's getting his Spire, and he's got plenty of Hydralisks, of course. He's not getting Lurkers, so he could actually hit XKCD with a really good timing here, and XKCD just not predicting the Bio could really take some big damage from Stim Marine Force. And it looks like there is now range starting. Stim might already be done, I'm not quite sure. He's already got 2 Valkyries. So if XKCD does build a bunch of Mutalisks, which it looks like he is, he's going to be fairly well defended against this. And actually, Qikz, he's sizing up to hit a very good timing here as the Wraith does die. He would ideally want to save that, but unfortunately he doesn't. And interesting. So Qikz, again, if he hits with this timing and XKCD doesn't see it coming, it could be very, very potent. Because these Mutalisks are going to get eaten up by the Valkyries, and the Hydralisks are going to get eaten up by the Stim Marines, as well as the Siege Tanks, which he does have a fair number of now. It looks like the Mutalisks coming in, they want to do some harassment on the turrets, but XKCD, he's got to be worried about these Vultures, and it looks like Qikz finally moving in his Vultures, or excuse me, Valkyries, wow. And they get a decent number of volleys off, and these Mutalisks softened up a bit, but not quite enough yet. And looks like XKCD trying to take this base up here at the 1 o'clock position, and Qikz SCV going out for blood. He wants to finish that drone off. He might actually get it, who knows. No, retreating to the sunken. Let's see here. He is getting lurkers now. XKCD must have gotten wind of how many barracks there were, and is now predicting that there's going to be a bio push, but these lurkers still very far away, and Qikz looking like he wants to move out now. He's going to be able to hit a very sick timing. XKCD, he has a decent number of Hydralisks, maybe like a control group, but he's going to need more than that, and he's only got maybe a control group of Mutalisks as well. Definitely needs to mix in some more stuff, beef up his military. He's at 65 versus Qix's 100 supply, and looks like, oh man, the Mutalisks, they're pigeonholing themselves into this bad position in Qik's base, and taking a good bit of damage now. Qikz actually pursuing with his Valkyries, and if XKCD isn't paying attention, he could lose all his Valkyries right here. This is huge, taking a lot of damage on those Mutalisks. And wow, only 2 Mutalisks left. The Valkyries doing their job 100%. They could die right now, and I don't think Qikz would mind too much. And looks like now Qikz moving out across the map with his big tank force, and a decent amount of bio behind that. Looks like the bio, though, getting a little bit behind. He's got to be very careful. He definitely needs to keep this army together. This is his timing. This is exactly what he wanted, and I think he's going to be able to pull it off. I don't think XKCD can hold this. He's getting lurkers, but he's morphing them in range of the siege tanks. Siege tanks will be able to take down these lurkers fairly quickly, and looks like some overlords now might be getting taken down as well, and that might supply block XKCD, and that's going to be critical for him. He's losing a bunch of stuff at his front, and I don't think he just goes ahead and GG's. He definitely couldn't hold that. Very nice play by Qikz. His opponent predicted him, and he meted the meta, and switched back into bio, and just really hit with a good timing. Lurkers were nowhere near being done in time for that, and very nice play by Qikz. So DeSPA, they're up 3-0 now, and so they do win the set, but still 2 more matches to play. And what the heck is with that, by the way? Like, every one of these has been instantly 3-0. You know, it's bad luck on the map orders.